What's going on, people? This is Speederman here once again with another film review, and this time I'm talking about another David Cronenberg film called Shivers. And wow, this has a very weird but interesting plot. So, this film is about these residents who live in a high rise apartment and they get infected with these parasites that turn them into these um, how should I say, these sexual freaks, and they get infected by having sexual contact with other people, and that's how they transmit this parasite, that makes them into these sex crazed fiends. Um, I mean, there is another movie with a similar plot to this. Um, the movie that really comes to mind right away is It Follows, but there are other movies that kind of try to do the same thing. But wow, this movie is very, very weird. It does remind me of David Cronenberg's Rabid. It has the same style, the same visual style, the same cinematography, which I really like. I really dug it. And yeah, man, I mean, it's a very weird film, but it's very interesting. Of course, the acting is very 70s, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to think of this film. I guess I sort of like some things about it, but don't expect too much gore. There is gore in here, but not as much as I thought it would be in a 70s movie like this, with this type of genre. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of sex in this film. There's very few sex scenes in this film. And I don't know, I was kind of expecting, more of that. But all in all, I don't know. I still think that I like Rabbit more than this film. But this film still had this thing that kept me watching, it kept me engaged, it kept me glued to the screen. So, not one of his best films, I think, but also not one of his worst. Um, but I did like Rabbit better than this film, and I'm sure this guy is capable of putting up. Pretty sure I'll find better films that he did. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling this though. I mean, I felt like they could have done more. I felt there should have been more gore in this film, more of a script, more of a story to it. But there are some pretty hot actresses in this film, I must say. The acting was pretty average for like a 70s film. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty average David Cronenberg film. It's pretty average 70s horror film. I'm pretty sure that at the time it was like a new thing to come up with this kind of story for this film, but like now, like if you watch it now, it kind of has a different. You kind of look at this film in a different way, but maybe like in the 70s when it first came out, it would have been a bigger deal. But now it's just like, I don't think this film had any impact like now than it did when it, in the 70s. But all in all, would I recommend Shivers? Yes and no. Like if you like 70s horror, a little bit exploitation in there, then yeah, I would recommend this film. But you're not really missing out on anything. I mean, you could always watch the 70s version of I Spit on Your Grave or Thriller, A Cruel Picture. And I think those films are better films than this film. But, I mean, if you want to watch it, you could always stream it for free on any movie app. But I wouldn't go out and buy it. Nah, I wouldn't go out and buy it. I would pass on collecting this for my collection. But yeah, that's what I thought about Shivers. I don't really recommend it, but some people might like it. So yeah, so that's what I thought. 100 subscribers. Peace.